On Monday, James Phillips, Brian Hale, and myself traveled to Oakman High School to film interviews with coaches and players as they prepared for their region opener against Holly Pond. Unfortunately, on Wednesday, when I sat down to edit Gametime for this week, I can only describe what happened as a catastrophic failure on the part of the SD card on which all of that footage was stored. It is regrettable that we will not be able to show that today. It is also regrettable that our interview with the PrepZone and WJLX Player of the Week, Eli Moon, likewise was lost when that SD card failed. Since PrepZone began prior to the 2019 Walker County Media Days, it has been our goal to spotlight the student athletes as they play football for themselves, their teams, and their communities. We take pride in giving them a platform on which they can take pride in and have something to remember. I would like to apologize to the Oakman Wildcats and their fans. I would also like to apologize to Eli Moon. There are contingency plans being made to ensure that this does not happen again. However, the show must go on. What you're about to watch today is an abbreviated form of Gametime, which will show Johnathan Bentley, Brian Hale, and James Phillips making their picks as they do each week.
Welcome to Southern Orthopedic PrepZone Gametime, driven by Carl Cannon.
Hey guys, welcome in. James Phillips, Johnathan Bentley, Brian Hale. This is DME PrepZone Gametime. Hey guys, we refilmed this. You heard from Jeffrey at the beginning of the show here. Had a few technical difficulties, but hey, we'll roll with it. And we're going to tell everybody about the games on the schedule this week. It's just going to be kind of an abbreviated version.
See, I wasn't on the first video.
Yeah. That may have been the issue. We knew everybody wanted to see you.
Yeah.
And they're waiting on pins and needles to get your picks.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just jump right into the games. First game of the week, Hatton at Winston County. Brian, what you think?
I'm going Hatton in this. I just think that Hatton's going to figure out the way to stop the run. And I mean, personally, guys, I'd make this look like a punt return defense. I'd stick 10 men on the line and have one man in the secondary and just tell Winston County, we dare you to pass.
Yeah, I got you there. I think I went with Hatton too. Main reason I went with Hatton is I saw they had lost to a 4A school, pretty close game in their only game of the season. I think it was Central Florence.
Right.
And so 4A, they played close to 4A. Winston County, though, had a great game last week against Meek, but that was Meek. What do you think?
Well, I went Winston County. That's the only game we have different.
Right.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I mean, Winston County won by 50. It was Meek. Can they run the ball against?
They scored 60 points.
64-14.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an explosion. Now, can they duplicate that? It's going to be. This is a non-region game for them, actually.
Right.
Everybody else has a region game, so they'll get a good test before they head into region.
Well,
I mean, this pretty evenly matched teams, I would say.
And both these teams come in, we're talking week 3 of the season. Both of these have only played in one game. I guess they both had jamborees or that sort of thing. So, okay, another Winston County game. Meek, 0-2 at Brilliant, 1-0. Meek really has, week 1, they scored 40-something points. Last week they get beat by 50. They're all over the board. Brilliant's got one win. I'm going to go with Brilliant. I think they'll win this one. They won this game last year. So, has Meek improved enough? Who knows? But I'm going to go with Brilliant. What about you guys?
Brilliant. They beat Hackleburg, shut them out last week.
That's right, yeah. It was 21-0.
It's a good win for them, yeah.
Even if it was a close game, I'd have to say I go with Brilliant for the home field advantage. So, and I don't think it's going to be that close. So,
all right, here's another Winston County game. I think we're probably going to all agree on this one. Who's all in on Marion County beating Lynn after Lynn loses last week?
Marion County.
50-point loss.
Right.
They got to prove it to me now.
And Brian said they only had 40-something yards of offense.
342 to 42, and they couldn't even move the ball on the second and third stringers of Addison.
Right. So that's pretty tough. I think Marion County gets that one. All right, here's an interesting game. Corner at St. Clair County. The reason it's interesting, Corner's former coach is now St. Clair County's coach. He's only been there for, 2 months now?
He's the St. Clair County offensive coordinator.
Oh, he's offensive coordinator?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he went to the head coaching
That
job.
would have made sense. They were 0-10 last year.
Right.
So, I mean, they're riding a 12-game losing streak.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I'm going Corner.
What about you, Ron?
I'm absolutely going corner. Corner, I think, is a lot better team than what they showed against Mortimer Jordan. It was the turnovers that killed them. Otherwise, I don't think they would have lost that game any more than maybe by 7 points. So I'm definitely going corner in this.
I'm going to go corner too. You guys said that last week, both of y'all were at the corner game, that they really could have won that game over Mortimer Jordan if it hadn't been for their own, mistakes, especially snapping the ball to the punter sounded like to be the biggest mistake of the day.
It was.
Okay, let's go one more Winston County game. Addison 1-1 at Aliceville 1-1. Addison's always a good team, but Aliceville is usually just a step better. I'm going to go with Aliceville in this one.
Yeah, me too. I agree. Same thing. Aliceville at home.
Yeah.
It's going to be close. Addison could win this game. It wouldn't be
Right.
a surprise, but being at Aliceville, I'll take them.
Yeah, I look at this game with Aliceville a lot like Addison playing Piedmont the past couple of years. Addison, we know, is a great team, but Aliceville is like a force of nature.
Right.
I mean, they're really dominant, so I see Aliceville taking care of this one at home.
Okay, here's one that one of our staffers picked this to be the upset of the year. Jeffrey Winborn, we need to mention him one more time because he picked Cordova to travel to Pleasant Grove and beat them. I want that on film since we're having to redo this. But Pleasant Grove just lost to the Class 6A champions from last year by 1 point. Cordova got a lot of things right last week, but I don't think they've gotten to the point that they're going to be able to hang with Pleasant Grove. I'm going with Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if they won this game, that would be unbelievably huge. They'd be a player for the region if they won this game.
Oh, yeah,
So
definitely.
they could compete with anybody in the region. That's going to be, that is a tough game to start region play with.
It is.
Yeah, Pleasant Grove 13-2 last year. Also, you think for a second, 1 point loss to Class 6A champions. I'm definitely going Pleasant Grove.
All right. It was more interesting when Jeffrey did his picks. This is
Sorry.
This is getting boring. Next time we're inviting Renee in here. She won the picks last time.
What can we say to her? She beat us straight up.
Okay, Hamilton 1-1 at Curry. Curry's 0-2. Brian, give us the lowdown.
Hamilton, even if this was at Hamilton, wouldn't need the Hamilton refs.
Right.
So, I would say this one, Hamilton, no problem.
I think Hamilton's actually pretty good this year.
Yeah.
I mean, yet again, that's a tough region opener for Curry.
We've got a lot of our local teams have to. We're going to say that for just
rest
about
of the way.
everyone, The next one, another tough region opener. Susan Moore is 0-1. They're traveling to Carbon Hill, who's 1-1. Jonathan, who'd you go with in that one?
I went Susan Moore. It's just more of being frustrated with how they played last week, Carbon Hill.
Right.
Now, if they clean that up, they can win this game.
Right.
Susan Moore was good last year. Hale pointed out they lost to a team that wasn't that great last year in their opener.
Right.
That's why they're 0-1. This probably isn't another 10-win Susan Moore team, so Carbon Hill needs this game.
Right. Yeah, last year Susan Moore undefeated in the regular season, made it to the second round, I think, of the playoffs.
Yes, I did pick them, but I could see it going either way.
Yeah, I think this will be a really close game. I went with Susan Moore also, just based on the way Carbon Hill's offense played last week. It seemed like they were struggling. Brian, who did you go with in this one?
I actually went with Carbon Hill. Susan Moore lost to a relatively bad 2A team. They're 3A and 27-21. I don't think that they are any semblance of the team that they were last year at all. And Carbon Hill has so many weapons. Even in the loss against Cordova, those guys really shined out. So I don't think offense is going to be a problem in this. This might end up being a high-score game, but I still take Carbon Hill at home.
All right, we talk about tough openers. How about Jasper at home opening region play with Clay Chalkville? That's the definition of tough opener.
You couldn't ask for anything worse than this. There's no cream puff in that region, but this is one of the best ones. Them and Gardendale are ranked already.
Right.
And you have to go into this game with a new quarterback. I mean, after not scoring against Coleman,
Right.
now they're hoping to score against Clay Chalkville. I mean, this is tall order. That's why I went Clay.
Brian?
I think that things are just compounded by Spencer Rosenfeld being out. That just compounds the situation, even with him in the game. I don't see how Jasper would have pulled this off. I mean, they would have to have like 7 or 8 turnovers by Clay Chalkville. Clay Chalkville was just that good. So
Yeah.
I'm taking Clay Chalkville.
I'm agreeing with you guys. I went with Jasper last week. It was the only pick I missed. I think I picked with my heart more than my head in that one.
Can't do that.
I can't do that this week because I got to keep at least tied with you.
Well, you already got the Hatton game different.
Right,
Or
so
is
we'll have
is
that
the
one. That's
Yeah.
the only one that's different. So we'll see how that turns out. Okay, game of the week. I think we're going to probably all agree on this one, but let's talk about it for a second. Holly Pond 1-1 travels to Oakman 1-1. Oakman struggled early against Gordo, but then they come back, a big win over Curry last week. Brian, what do you think about Holly Pond coming into Oakman to play the Wildcats?
I think they're going to have a rough night. I think Oakman, offensive-wise, is going to go up and down the field with no problem. I think A.J. Odom, I think Austin Woods, I think all their compatriots are going to spend more time in the Holly Pond backfield than Holly Pond's own halfback. So I'm going to say Oakman wins this one big.
You agree?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't basketball. Coleman County is a basketball county. I can say that. Holly Pond is, 1-1. That's a pretty good start for them. They have a new coach, but coming over here, I think they lost to Vinemont. Is that right?
I believe that's right, yeah.
They lost to Vinemont last week.
Yeah.
Oakman's a little bit better than Vinemont.
Right. Well, and Oakman, there's a lot of weapons on that team. We went to practice earlier this week, and they were really getting after it. For a team coming off a big win, a blowout win, sometimes you think you might be a little deflated and just, going through the motions. Not Oakman. I mean, they're coming into this region opener ready to play, and I agree with you guys. I think the Wildcats are going to be up big and up early, and you'll see their 2s and 3s, and they may put a couple of the Toy Bowl kids in there before the game's over with.
Might
Yeah,
be.
this will be. I've seen them twice this year, and that's a really good team. And they're only going to get better.
Right.
I think this will be the perfect start to the region.
Right. Well, guys, anything else before we go?
We're going to be watching for the Players of the Week.
That's right.
Remember, you guys show out, you get in consideration. We'll be voting on it. We'll release it next week, so we're watching.
That's right. Fans, be sure that you tag us on the game stories throughout the night on PrepZone.com. Be sure to watch that, DMEPrepZone.com. And then also on our Facebook page throughout Friday night, if you see a standout athlete, be sure to comment that on our different videos. Jeffrey Winborn and Brian will be at the Oakman game. I think me and Jonathan are going to show up for the beginning, do a pregame show. And then after that, we'll be traveling to other areas of the county to cover other games. So should be a fun Friday night.
I think it will be.
All right, Jonathan, anything else?
Nope, I'm ready for it.
Okay. All right, hey guys, until Saturday when me and Brian tell you who all wins these games, this is James Phillips for Johnathan Bentley and Brian Hale, and we'll see you Friday night at the football field.